Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Okay, everyone has a chance to look over the minutes, and if we can get a motion to approve. A second? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to the financial report.
Okay, sorry about that. I've been working with the finance officer, and her and I sat down this week and decided kind of what we're going to do as far as the finance report. She wanted to go ahead and have everything closed out because, you know, we've approached our new fiscal year for the TDA as well as the TIM. So the goal is most of the bills, we still have a couple floating out there, but the goal is to have them within the next week so we can close out the month of June. Mm-hmm. So when I come before you guys the month of August, she has agreed to create a spreadsheet that kind of details what we have left over from the previous year. Because if I read back correctly, you guys had voted to put back 25% in reserve. So I'll have an actual total of how much you've put back this year and how much is in the reserve altogether. I'll also have a total of any upcoming expenditures that we've already committed to, and then I'll have a balance of what we have left after we have all that on the table. So it makes it a little bit more concise and clear to the figures we have to work with. And that's all I've got for now.
Moving on to the subcommittee reports. Basically, Summer's already covered the finance and the budget. Policy and procedures.
Don't have nothing for that this time.
And Deb Heatherly is out this evening, so we don't have anything on the funding and evaluations. So we're going to move to the unfinished business, and have Sylvia Cochran, if you can give us an update on the bike ride.
So let's spit on that. Sure, I won't do that first. When you get old, you have to use these, so excuse me. Okay, at the call meeting, there were some questions asked that I have answers for. Warren Cave, Franklin Fire Chief, asked how many vendors will be at the event. We're estimating between 20 and 30 vendors. The space can safely hold 40 vendors and still provide parking for attendees. Jimmy Team, Macon County Fire Marshal Inspector. The vendors will need to follow all fire codes. Tents will need to be a certain square footage, and generator cords will need to follow fire code. The promoter needs to provide a site map and a vendor layout. Our vendors will be in tents similar to those which set up at the Pumpkin Festival. And if Mr. Teams, will provide us with the fire code that applies to the outdoor vending so that we can make sure we're in compliance with that. That's one of the things I need to get him to do. A pre-event layout is impossible to provide as the vendors are set up in place as they arrive. What concerns do you have about the layout? We have 12 years experience in rally promotions, and we ensure there will be adequate space for emergency vehicles to enter and exit the rally grounds. We anticipate the unexpected and plan for it. Our vendor setup in this type of venue is typically a U-shaped layout with the stage at the bottom of the U and the vendors along the sides. The vendors are closest to the stage if power and water hookups are available, which they are. David Key with the Macon County Emergency Services Director, how many people are you predicting to be at the event? We cannot provide an accurate prediction. Based on our experience with several events, the number of attendees on site at any given time during the weekend will be between 200 to 300 motorcyclists. This is an easily managed number and not a case for concern, a cause for concern.
David Adams, Franklin Police Chief. What is being done about security? We have contracted with the Macon County Sheriff's Department for special duty officers. I'll meet with Lieutenant Brian Leopard tomorrow after lunch, and we will have everything detailed and out for our off-duty officers. I know that Lieutenant Leopard told me today that he would be one of the actual security there, so we'll have all that in place after tomorrow. Danny Bates, Franklin Police Officer. Said he called the police chief in Helen, Georgia. He informed me that only 2 problems with the bike rally are parking and the noise. I believe the bigger concern will be any events that happen downtown. Is the poker run and treasure hunt going to be held downtown? The poker run is not coming downtown. At this time, we have fewer than 100 registered VIP attendees that have indicated they intend to participate in the treasure hunt or the poker run, so this will not cause a problem with parking or noise. Jimmy Team, Macon County Fire Marshal Inspector. I have concerns about restaurants being overcrowded. If restaurants exceed their room occupancy level, that their ABC permit can be revoked. The Macon County Health Department needs to be brought on board. Portable toilets, trash, and food vendors will all need to be discussed with the Health Department. This is a sheet that the Health Department provided me with to let them know what food vendors will be there. Ms. Pat and Ms. Jane there. They have this in hand. And each food vendor will have to be inspected through the Health Department just like normal, and with this paperwork they've given me, they know the ones that will be calling them, and unless they're inspected by them, they will not be allowed to set up. Also, to finish out this question, not to make light of your concerns, but we can guarantee Franklin won't be overrun. We have had several discussions with the Macon County Health Department, Ms. Jane and Ms. Pat. They are aware, like I said, of the food vendors that are to be inspected. We have contracted with J&B Disposal and Sunshine Sanitation to provide portable toilets and garbage collection. Also, I will have garbage cans out there. I've also have volunteered VMCs that are going to help with the garbage, make sure it's clean every day, every night, so we won't have that problem. Before we leave the grounds, it'll be left better than it was. That's one of the things that we make sure of. Macon County Fire Marshal Inspector, tell restaurants that they must maintain their occupancy load at all times. If they fail to do so, this will be a fire code violation. Will alcohol be sold at the event? There will be no alcohol served at the event site. Ensuring local restaurants load capacity during the event is not a service we provide, although in our experience this is a non-issue. Of course, the restaurants have to maintain that themselves unless they want their permit, and that's just something that I don't get involved in with who they let in. If they let them in, it's their business, but I don't think they'll let too many go into a restaurant because I don't think they want their permit revoked. Okay, Mr. David Adams with the Franklin, who is the Franklin Police Chief. Is there a special occasion permit that Ms. Cochran could apply for? We've been told by the city officials there isn't a permit or a need for a permit on the current site.
I disagree with that statement completely. You were emailed, and Ms. Presley can agree, she was copied to it, the directions you needed to follow and contacts at the state.
The state.
You have an
Oh,
email.
I'm talking about, for the city. Now, I know about that permit.
Well, okay. We've got our police chief here, and we also have a
Okay.
member from the ATF. Do you want to touch on this for a minute?
Alcohol law enforcement.
I'm a little bit confused because you
We're
said
not going to have the alcohol.
he's
no.
not serving alcohol, so there's
No.
no need for the permit at all.
We're not having alcohol
But the
because
goal of this board, correct me if I'm wrong, was for her to apply for the permit
I
to get
called-
the
Correct.
alcohol.
I called the, ABC board in Raleigh. I went through all that. And he said unless I was a nonprofit or a political party, am I correct?
For a nonprofit, political party or government.
Or government entity that I could not do, and he told me it would be wise that I just didn't even pursue it.
Well, that's what you need to put in that question,
Okay.
because you were given proper instruction.
Oh, and I may have misunderstood and yes, you did, we misunderstood that, but I did go and, contact, the Raleigh, North Carolina ABC board, and that's the correct things that he told me at that, and we stayed on the phone probably a good 30 minutes looking at ways, and he said unless I could find a nonprofit to apply for it, or if I was professing to be a political party, then there was no means that I could do it. So and I apologize if I misunderstood the question.
Okay.
Do we have any questions of Sylvia Cochran?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll move on to the ATF.
On the vendors, how many do we have confirmed? I know
I
you said 20 to
have-
30 estimate.
I have 19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on the website?
I have not gotten all of them on there because until they give me all their paperwork, their insurance binder that they have to give me,
Mhm.
then they don't go on there until I get that.
Okay, so really they're not technically confirmed.
Well, that's true,
Okay.
but
Okay.
they have sent their application in and been approved up to the point of sending me all their binder.
So you have 19 committed. Okay.
Like compared to the Helen Rally, how many vendors were at the Helen Rally?
I had 28 at the
28.
Helen Rally.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let's see, I think I've told you most of the things. I'm meeting with, Lieutenant Leopard tomorrow, and I'm meeting with Miss Christy Dodge to get the layout tomorrow, and, let's see.
The site map, the layout, is that what
Site
you're
map,
referring to?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I have a question about the poker run,
Uh-huh.
and I know you can't really disclose the location because of what it is. I think that's what you said last
Yes, ma'am.
month. And it says it's not going to be, not coming downtown.
Right.
Is it going to be in any areas that would cause any congestion then? I mean, not necessarily downtown, but.
No, ma'am. Usually on a poker run, the motorcycles like to get out and ride.
And ride.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. And they'll be, at businesses where they stop. If they stop at a business, we'll get a permission from that business that they want the poker run to come in there before. And normally it goes outside of town.
Okay.
For that. On the treasure hunt, it's up to the individual motorcyclist at which place they go. I know Miss Karen's business is supposed to be on there, and I know that Smith Power Sports is going to be on there. I'm not sure all of them because Miss Carmen's working on that with her Appalachian Angels. But no 20 people are gonna go to the same business at the same time. Unless it's just a big group of people that came together, so.
Sylvia, do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have a copy of the sponsorship list in the insurance policy?
No, in my folder, no, but I do back at the office, I can get it.
We have to have a copy of that.
Right.
We're supposed to have it at this meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can get that, faxed to me tomorrow to you.
And to shed some light, I'm sorry, sir, what is your name?
Scott,
Scott, could you give us some information from the ATF about the alcohol permits and stuff for that piece of property? As far as your, about the alcohol, just kind of shed us some light on what you do and if it's permitted and why it's not permitted, alcohol permitted on that piece of property.
okay, I know very little about what's going on, to be honest with you.
Okay.
My name's Scott, I work for North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement, not ATF, but ALE. I'm out of the Asheville office, and I cover the western 5 counties of the state. Is my work area, so I'm assigned to Macon County, so Danny asked me to come over today. As far as the piece of property, I guess I don't really understand exactly what you're asking. Do you want to know if permits can be issued
Yes.
there? Well, the issue is who can apply for permits. The permit that she's referring to is a special occasion permit, or a special one-time permit, I'm sorry. And only way that will be issued from the ABC Commission law is if it is for a nonprofit organization or if it's a fundraising thing for a city or county government or a political organization. So it's not going to be issued. They're not going to issue a permit for that. Beyond that, I'm not sure what you're asking.
That's basically the answer.
So would the TDA be able to apply for that? Or, no. Or partner with a local nonprofit? I mean, for future reference is where I'm going with that.
Well, is the TDA a nonprofit organization? Or I'm not even familiar with what type of
I don't think we want to be considered as a nonprofit or be the person who's going to carry that on.
But this is some type of the city board, is that correct? Then you would probably be eligible to apply for the permit.
Right. That's what I'm, future reference for this board to pursue. If we ever have another festival where we want to have alcohol, I think we should know where we stand.
Right. If a permit is issued to this board, then that makes this board responsible for all the
Gotcha.
laws as far as underage and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yes, I think probably could be issued to the board.
Okay.
Within the city limits, the town can issue a special permit. On what time permit?
Yes, it'd be a lot easier if it was.
It's not in town limits.
No, it's within the ETJ, but it's not in the ISIC. That's why I directed her to Raleigh, because it's out of our control here.
And one other thing I forgot to mention, or I need to mention, is I talked to Mr. Gary, who is the strip mall landlord there, and he said normally he closes the parking lot to the carnival, but he and I are working it out, and he's not going to close it to us. We're getting all the necessary things that we need to do for him to leave it up right there. One being providing motorcycle kickstand pucks, and I usually do that at all rallies anyway. If somebody needs to put their kickstand down, and that was one of the things he was concerned about. So he and I are in contact, and I've talked to businesses there, and they're excited about it. So.
That's where Chris and Charlie's is.
Mm-hmm.
And traffic control, obviously.
That's one of the things that.
Is there going to be like signage down the road? 'Cause
Yes.
people fly down through there.
Yeah, we'll have signage on
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah.
Okay. People are going to be crossing there. It's really interesting. Yeah. It's good that there's paid parking option.
And I think Chris and Charlie's, they mentioned that they're going to, out in their grass area, put up a 10 by 60 tent out there, so they're excited about it.
Good.
Any more questions, guys?
I got one.
Go ahead. Mhm.
You're advertising the VIP package. What is included in the VIP package?
That's their T-shirt, any memorabilia that's included. We will have a VIP party at Mulligan's. They get the poker run, the guided rides, the bike show, and let's see what else. I think that's all that's included in there.
Going back to the party at Mark, does the VIP pass, does that include food beverages, alcohol,
Free food.
just free food? But no,
I don't provide any alcohol.
I was thinking of the website, you advertising some free alcohol.
At one time, and that we were, because we were gonna get this permit, but at this time we can't do it, so no.
So-
No. I'm not getting in trouble
Okay.
for other people, or for the TDA, or myself, so.
Considering that Mulligan's offers alcohol and surely some of them will drink, how is that gonna work with?
If they buy it, they're on their own. That's the way. I'll provide the Cokes and tea and that kind of thing, but as far as the alcohol, they'll have to buy their own alcohol.
Right, but I mean like transportation wise, because I mean,
I'll stand guard, I promise you, to make sure that any of our people that have those armbands before they leave out of there, if they're not able to drive, they won't drive, because we'll have our vehicles there to carry them to wherever they need to go, and make sure their motorcycles get to the particular place.
Just to be clear on the question, how it reads on the website, nightly biker mixers provided by local
Right,
sponsors.
and that's something that's got to be taken off. I've got to get that off of it.
Okay, it's just a little vague,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
something I got to get off of it. I understand where you're coming from, but it'll come off, it won't be. And any of my VIP people will get a sheet that says what we will do, and that will not be one of the things that is in there.
any questions? Any more questions for Sylvia? Sylvia, when can you get that website updated?
I'll call Scott as soon as I get off and get him to take it off. Or Tony can take it off too. Either one.
However you want to do this.
And if you could get him to go ahead and forward us a copy of the insurance policy, because we'll need that today, because the deadline for the insurance policy and stuff was today.
Well, he may not, I'm sorry, but he's probably not at the office to forward that.
It's as soon as we can get that.
Okay, I'll do it to you tomorrow.
Any other questions? Moving on to new business. There is a grant request for the 16th annual Pumpkin Fest. And as we stated in the past, that Linda does not have to be present during the grant request. But if you have any questions, she'll be happy to answer those. So if we can take a minute to look over the grant request, if there's any questions, concerns that you may have. And then we'll table to the end of our meeting to vote. Unless
Sorry.
you have any questions. We'll table to the end of the meeting to
Okay.
vote. Unless you'd like to do something.
I don't think so.
Or if there's any questions that I need to get Linda to answer before, just let me know those.
Is it similar to what's usually asked for?
How many years?
This is 16th annual.
Mhm.
This TDA has not been 15 years, but I know since we've been aboard, they've come to us.
Yep. It's a good festival, well attended.
Mhm.
It is well attended. I definitely agree that these festivals need to be funded. But we do need to draw the line somewhere. I know that we've talked about this in the past. And just this being brought up, I think that, we need to have, since we have some new board members, to sit down and go over the bylaws again. And self-sufficiency,
I
we gotta
agree.
draw the line somewhere. So, and we gotta determine what we're gonna do. So
Yeah.
I think that, after the bike rally, that we should set up a retreat date to go over all that, so we're all clear of what's going on. in the meetings.
Will you make a motion for that? You wanna wait till later?
Can you make a motion
Go ahead, pull the trigger.
for the retreat?
Yeah.
I would like for some, can I even do one? You can't do that. I can't.
I'd make a motion that we wait like 2 months. I know we've got some many more members, but we're going to be getting some more.
Right.
And to get them on board to have a retreat, talk about the future.
All right.
Maybe, say within 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, either the September or November, something like that.
Sounds good.
We can wait till the next one, come on, if you wanna do that, and we'll make a motion that everyone can attend.
Okay.
Because it'll need to be a little bit longer, just to make sure that we're all on board with the same. Okay, moving on to the grant request for the dedicated bikers for WNC here in Flowers.
I have just a little bit of information for everybody just to kind of look at. Made copies of our actual posters that we, yeah. And in that package is, of course, a copy of the poster that we've actually hand-delivered. We've had a lot of fun doing it. Our people get together and, we go for bike rides and we figure which route we're going to take, and we've been hand-delivering a lot of those. Have had really good response, really happy with just the, the interest in what we've got going on with our rally this year. Of course, this year, one of the biggest things that we're really proud of is it's going to be at a campground. We're really excited about that. Rose Creek Campground, Victoria, they're working greatly with us. She's going to try to provide what she can for us. We're going to provide what we need to for them. So this year, we've got our second annual toy poker run going on. And proud to say this year, local Toys for Tots is going to be involved. And hopefully, for the next many years, they're also going to be a part of this as well. Things to attract people to come. People, give people things to do. We've got a bike show going on. We've got a tattoo contest going on this year. It's a new thing, and we've gotten a lot of good response from that. We've got Estelle Tattoo Parlor. They're involved with, it, and also Ink Junkies down on the Georgia Road. So we've gotten a lot of good response from that. Let's see, what else? One of the best parts about it is we're going to have a 2-night concert. And we've worked really hard on just trying to figure out which bands, what kind of bands, what people want to hear. We want to try to offer different music for different kinds of people. We have a younger crowd that's possibly going to be attending that tattoo contest. We want Friday night to be something, that maybe the younger crowd's going to enjoy, as far as music-wise. So we're still working on that, but we have actually signed a contract with Haas Howard Band. They will be there for our Saturday night concert. And we went and visited them at an event that they did this last weekend over in Coley. And we just hit it off really good, and they're a great band. They're a nice band. They can do, a little bit of heavy rock and roll. And they do a lot of nice, quiet, nice slow dance songs or whatever, just something to mix it up and make it nice. And that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for something that everybody's going to enjoy. Like I said, marketing for the rally this year, our website has been a tremendous, tremendous help for us. Also our Facebook page, we've been able to communicate with people, through that, them go on there getting our telephone numbers and our email address and corresponding with us that way. As far as our vendors are concerned, we haven't really concentrated hugely on vendors. We're kind of carrying this year vendors that were there last year, the year before that, the year before that. They kind of were wanting to return, because they're enjoying the low key, the nice, everybody get together, nice safe event. So, and we've got some that aren't gonna return, and we've got new ones that are coming. So we haven't really focused hugely on that because they've kind of come to us and said, hey, look, we want to be a part of the rally this year. Not charging them any kind of a vendor fee or anything. We just ask that they pay the $15 weekend pass. So, which has been a big plus, because this day and time, people are having little issues with trying to make ends meet anyway. This year, our goal is to have anywhere from 500 to 700 participants, not all bikers, but we hope there a lot of that will be bikers. And of course, that's going to be a variety of different, older people to younger people. That's where when we went to the concert thing, we were like, we need to mix it up. We need to make it attractive for whatever age group, would like to come. We focus every year, of course, on the what to do, what to draw people. So that's where we came up with the tattoo contest, bike show, and of course the toy poker run this year we feel is going to be a really, really successful event for our local charity. Randy Hughes, a great guy. He was tickled to death the day I called him and said, hey, look, we'd like to work with you. What can we do? Because he's had a little bit of disappointments over the past couple of years with the participation and the collection of toys for the town. So it was kind of a good thing I gave him a call, and so we're on board, and that's another part of our advertising too, because they're putting us all over the place too. Along with the Haas Band, they're going to be putting us on their website. Did go to Chamber of Commerce today because a friend of ours went for a bike ride this weekend and ran across Jimmy, ran across over at Cherokee County Cycles, which is a motorcycle place over in, what county is that?
Cherokee.
Cherokee? Oh. I was thinking it was, anyway, they put together this package, for like a biker map, just things. So I thought, well, I need to go to the Chamber of Commerce and talk to them. So the magazine they're going to be handing out at the Rumble, they're going to also give us some of those too, to hand out or just to have at our tables, for them bikers to pick up, see what there is to do in the area, Helen's a close place to go. Nantahala, we go to Sapphire a lot. So we're trying to get a map that's showing a little bit of a whole area. We feel, they come to the campground, they might want to come back and stay, and maybe next year or for a fall trip or whatever, and just kind of search our beautiful town. It's beautiful. We love it.
Have you been to the Asheville, not to interrupt you, but the Asheville, they do a Toys for Tots, and it's a bunch of bikers, and they do it at Christmas, like it's freezing cold outside. I was gonna say maybe some of those would participate because it's big for kids.
And that's something that we as dedicated bikers, that's what we want to do. We want to start participating in local events, and Toys for Tots has just kind of opened the door for us to be able to provide our help too for them. So hopefully we're going to get as many toys as we can. They plan on bringing the train, and hopefully we can maybe fill that up a little bit. That's our goal. That's our goal. And our main thing is we want to turn this into a community outreach. We want to be able to get toys for kids. That's what it's about. We have a couple other charities that we're looking at, to possibly donate to, if in the event that the event is as successful as we'd like it to be, we have the kids' place that we'd like to do something for too. So all in all, our rally is about helping out the kids of our community. That's what we've been doing. We Reach of Macon County and Holiday Angels got benefits from us last year. We donated to them, which was great. And the year before that, we did it for fallen firefighters. Didn't really get too much of a response from that. Kind of disappointed, but economy was down. Bikers weren't, it was kind of, numbers were down, so. But I have a copy of our advertisement that we've also put in the Full Throttle magazine. They're also going to be one of our vendors. So if you guys want to take these, you're more than welcome to have these.
And the reason I was saying the one in Asheville, because maybe they could get a list of those bikers that would participate in that.
And see,
And if they want to do toys, they probably would love to come that time of year though.
Yes, yeah. And what Randy Hughes told me, he said, well, Karen, he said, it's a little early. We usually don't start our run until about the 1st of September. I said, well, guess what? I said, we're going to start at the end of August now. He was like, that sounds like a plan to him. So we're just, you know, we're kind of tickled about it. We want to see as many toys as we can. You know, we're excited. But you guys can have those. You don't have to give them back to me if you want to sift through them and look. And
What page is that on?
she's got it, 69. 69.
Go ahead, Ms. Maria, you have.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just am new to the board. So you've done this for 4 years. It says 4th annual.
Yes.
And you donate to a charity or some
Correct.
some organization
Yeah.
or something.
Mhm.
Has TDA participated in the past, or is this the first time you're coming for funding requests, or have you always done this?
This is not the first time we've come,
Okay.
but we're here now.
Okay.
Just looking for a little bit of marketing help, you know, advertising, getting the word out, you know.
Totally
so-
separate from the Rumble,
Right.
Totally separate from the Rumble, yes, yes.
but similar.
So, yeah, it's a bike rally, it's
is it a
similar, we
bike
have
rally?
food vendors, we have, you know, apparel vendors, we have, you know, just little adult, you know, like little games and stuff, you know, like you'll see, I gave you a copy of the schedule of events.
Right,
That
right,
kind of
right.
tells you the different things.
Okay. And when is the Rumble?
August 17th.
So this is just like
week
a
before.
week.
Week after.
Week after.
Yeah.
I thought I was reading that right.
You are.
Any other questions?
Do I?
Matt, did you have a question?
I don't have a question.
Comment?
I do have a comment. I always have a comment. I really.
Let it rip. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do I?
Nothing, go on, Matt.
Do you have a comment?
Sense of humor now.
You know, I like several things about this. You know, pesticide coming to the TDA. I like several, like I said, several aspects about this, especially giving back to the local community.
Mhm.
I think that's really important. That's something that I really like. You know, both of these rallies are happening, regardless, it looks like.
Yes.
I think from my position on the TDA is like putting up, I think you requested billboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, feel free to jump in here. I don't even know if we have billboards available.
Tony,
We
we
do?
do have one available, correct?
Okay.
We'll have something available after the barbecue then.
Which is
Which will give 3 weeks.
They'll give them about.
gotcha. Okay. Cool. And where I'm going with this is it really doesn't make sense for this community to do two of the same thing. I'm speaking for myself here.
Exactly.
And I don't see why there's no way that we can it seems like you have a lot of resource and a lot of locally based bikers that you know that can help get Toys for Tots on board, get a gun raffle going,
Right.
get, you know, the live concerts with local
And that's
folks.
done well. We've done really well, and we've sold quite a few tickets on that. And we look to probably sell quite a few tickets
Right.
actually at the rally. You know, people see that. And we're going to have the gun on display and stuff there too. So.
Right. Just for future, I'd like to see us work together a little bit more on some things. So, and I just like to say that.
I appreciate that.
Well, we want to make sure, like Sylvia, we want to make sure that everybody's safe. We don't want to overload, have issues, traffic issues. We don't want to do that. We don't want to freak out Macon County. We just want to gather with the fellowship and do something for our community. We're going to advertise as much as we can. We're going to get what we get. We don't know. That's something we don't know how many people we're going to get. We may get 200 people. We might get 1,000 people. But we do have a point to where we have to shut the gates. We cannot any longer take any more people in. Because when you start doing that, you start having problems. You start having overcrowding, and that's not good for anything. You know, so our goal, I'd like to see 500 people.
How many did you have last year?
Honey, how many did we have last year?
We've had, anywhere from 400 to 600 in every one.
So it's kind of
And
like
where
a,
was it?
they held it at the fairgrounds. Yeah, so this year, we changed location, thinking,
Do you have like an entrance, like a funnel to how they come in? Is
We
it
have.
it's like data collection, like whether it's writing your name down or, you know,
as far
Get
as
his
trying
email
to keep
address
accounts,
or-
is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, what it is on the poster you'll see is a $15 weekend pass.
okay.
We
So
have
we're
3
selling
different
those.
colors of bands. Blue bands are for volunteers and people that are camping on the actual site. That way they have access to the entire campground, swimming pool. We know who these people are if they have a blue wristband on. Daily incomers are gonna have a red wristband on. That's going to let us know that they are not allowed to stay there. So we see somebody laying on the ground or sleeping or whatever in the middle of the night and they got a red wristband on, they got to go. But anyway, and then we have white wristbands. And the white wristbands are going to be for underage. We are stressing that there is no underage drinking at all. Everybody will be carded that we, you know, and they will have a white wristband on.
So you are having alcohol.
Yes, we have a $3 cooler charge. That was really the kind of the only way we could respectfully do it for whoever read. You know, we don't want to offend anybody. You know, we don't want to scare anybody away or anything, but they can bring a cooler full of Coke if they want to. They can bring a cooler full of beer if they want to. You know, so they can come and listen to music and have a beer. That's what we want to do.
They're bringing their own.
Bringing their own. We're not responsible for any alcohol.
Plenty of people are gonna be watching and guarding and stuff like that, security, so there's gonna be plenty of people.
So you're
well
tracking sales by
maintained.
wristbands?
Yes, ma'am. We figured that was the best way to do it, you know, because they got numbers, we're selling them, and we'll have a total count, just like we did last year. We did the same thing last year.
And just addressing my previous statements, you know, that's no way to just take away from Smoky Mountain Rumble because as a member of this board, I mean, I'm behind that, you know, just letting you guys know that, you know, I'm behind that 100% and I'm just looking into the future as far as how can we not cross so many lines.
Right, and that was one of our main things, is looking for a private piece of property, you know, so that we could offer somebody to come in and have a drink and or beer and watch the music. Or we definitely don't encourage bikers drinking. You know, we don't, but you know, most bikers are pretty
For drinking and driving.
Taxis,
Yeah.
taxi
Right.
service.
Yeah, we have contacted taxi services here in town, and we have them on board to be, you know, there at the rally for us in case anybody is unable to drive. They will have transportation.
And you said at your gate you have a cutoff. What is the cutoff?
When we see that we just can't have any more people in there, and we're starting to get a little bit, you know, because we're going to probably have 25 to 30 people going around the lot, going around the campground.
We'll be able to see it getting too full.
Yeah, we don't want it, we want it to be safe and effective. We don't want any issues. So, and we just, like I said, we don't know how many people's gonna be there, but we do have somewhat of control.
Sounds great. Thank you. Let me ask you something too, Tony. There's one billboard, but is there a second one that will come available even soon?
There are two barbecues,
2 barbecues.
one in town, one out.
And
They'll
also,
see it now.
on this plan for the barbecue too.
I have heard of them. I haven't seen them.
I have a question on the billboard then.
Uh-huh.
So basically, they're just requesting billboard? That's their request?
Yes.
We have 3 for the
Okay.
rumble and 2 for the barbecue. And then, once the barbecues come down, you can do 2 for this.
Okay.
What would be the cost roughly of billboard advertising then?
We
just-
have our own
I'm kinda
billboard.
curious.
So there's, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
I'm
to make the poster.
under retainer to design and the TDA pays for the billboards, and I take care of designing the poster and getting it placed to make sure it gets put up.
And Kara, do you
Okay.
have a design that you want, or
I can give you a card.
would you want?
Billboard.
I'm gonna give you this.
Okay, and I'm gonna give you one of my cards.
Awesome, that's great. That's great.
Thank you, Karen. Now, Allison, see if you had your own design that you wanted.
Well, basically, we want it to be, I want the background white, I want the ruby badge, the red and the black like we do.
That's what I know.
I want to put, I don't know what we're allowed to put on there, but I would like to put Toys for Tots with a poker run information little area and the date. And then Haas Howard Band or Sharkadelics, we're also looking at them too for Friday night.
And if they approve, you can,
I haven't heard of any of these.
with each other.
Okay, and I've got all the Haas Howard Band information. I can just email you because they've already sent us it.
And
I saw the name Shark
the sooner the better, what you can meet, because the faster we get the design of actual billboards.
Do they?
Because it takes a while.
Okay, well, I'll just get with you tomorrow or Wednesday or something if you want to work. Okay, that'll be good, I'll call you.
And I can let you know after our meeting about the approval.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Just move
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you guys, we
Thank you.
appreciate it. It's good meeting you, Vicki.
Thank you.
Okay. We can go ahead and talk about the grant request. And if we're gonna go any further, then I guess we're done with the grant request, and we need to go ahead and make a motion to either approve or not approve. Yeah, so we'll go ahead with the grant request for the 16th annual Pumpkin Fest.
Make the motion to approve the 2,000 for the pumpkin fest.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Summer, do you mind, since you're in the same office, open the public meeting? Certainly can. Thank you. Okay. And the grant request for the dedicated bikers.
Move. I would make the motion to give two.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Two
I'll make a
billboards.
motion.
Do you have a second?
I have a question before we vote.
Okay.
Now, do we get feedback, how many their sheet, information sheet that they provide back to us?
We can.
How many people attend and all that kind of
You can
stuff?
request that. That's normally required if we did like a actual
money
fun
for an
event.
advertisement.
Okay.
We funded it, but since we own it. Or not
I'd
own,
like
but
to
we
have that
rent it.
information.
That'd be good to have. It would. Would you care to provide that with us?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Just kind of, once you've done the event, just kind of give us an idea of
How many attended?
How many
Oh,
attendees.
yeah, I'll keep
Okay.
in touch with you guys and kind of
Like
let you know.
vendors
Like I
and
said, we got Chamber of Commerce, you know,
Yeah.
so we're gonna try to come up with some numbers just to kind of get some, as accurate as we can as far as the
Good.
participation. And, you know, mingling around, talking to people, did you come out of town, you know, are you from local area? You know, we'll just kind of talk to them and just kind of see what kind of a response we get from different areas to it, so.
Because we can request that maybe at future meetings that you can come do a presentation of how it went, if you
Perfect.
would mind.
I'd love to do that, thank you.
Yeah, just like name, zip code,
Zip
email
code.
would
Zip
be,
code, yeah.
when you're selling the bracelets, just right there before you get your bracelet,
Right.
you know?
Right. And too, when we do the poker run, we get all that information as well. We get their name, their
Good.
address, their email
Cool.
address, their telephone number and stuff like that for, you know, for the riders that participate in the poker run too. So, you know, we do have, you know, areas that we can get information, you know, just kind of get a number and areas where people come from.
The more the better, I would
Yes.
say.
It shows
I
how
agree
effective it is.
with that. I do. And the magazine that we're doing is covering 5 states. So that's where it's gonna be curious to hear
Cool.
somebody say, oh, we came from, you know, Florida, and we saw it in Full Throttle magazine, or we, you know what I mean? So that's a good thing.
So we had a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Two full votes. So as soon as you get that information to Tony, we can get the vote.
Tony, I'll give you a call.
That's good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any items before?
How many new members do we need to get this year and
We
where
have
are we?
Mike Riverman, which is on for how long?
Mike will actually be back next week, so he should be able to attend the August meeting.
So he'll
And we
be on.
And
still
we'll have a
have
full
Alan.
board
Yeah.
once we have him.
And then, but I'll be going off this year, so I would think that I think it'd be really good for the board to go ahead and be looking at somebody to come on board before you have your retreat. And that way, that person's not
Can be
really
a- What we'll do is
to keep
we'll
you from having to do another retreat to.
we'll have a review on the terms,
Review.
how much long they have, and then we can have that at our next
How many seats we need to fill?
She's going
Just
to,
fill mine, 'cause I'll be,
we'll have a full board.
Okay.
As soon as
How many,
Mike-
how many
So-
board members are there total when it's
9.
complete? 9.
Mhm.
Okay, and so,
We'll have 9 when Mike comes on, but Beverly's going to,
Later.
her term will expire within the next, I think, 2
Well, I
months.
don't have that with me.
So
It's like 2
October,
months,
something like that.
okay.
but I was just thinking, you know, if you're gonna do a retreat, it would be best to have that person on board.
The new
And
person.
Mike talked to me earlier, said, you know, would you wanna go ahead and go off and let him come on? I said, sure, you find somebody.
Okay.
I can exit a couple of months, I can still help with projects,
Mhm.
so,
Oh, yeah. So you have 2 months.
I think I'm
Two.
I can double check and
Yeah,
double
well,
check,
if
let
we can
everybody
go
know.
But
By
anyway-
the next meeting on our terms of when it is, so then we can start looking.
And would you mind if, maybe I could get a list of who all the board members
Certainly.
are and their terms, just so I can kind of, I
Well,
mean, are
that's
they
why
all?
I think that we need to have
they
this
vary?
retreat,
We do.
because we've had so many new people going off, with a lot of people resigning. And it's been an issue, and there's a lot of question, and I think it's just, we need to go back where we were,
Mhm.
where we're going,
Okay.
how we move forward,
Mhm.
approving grants.
This year, you have Ron Weinkauf's term expired like in January, and then mine will expire.
Ron
I've served
Haven.
like
Ron
3
Haven's
Stepped away.
expired.
Or did he
He was
expire
up
or
for,
did he-
it expired,
Oh,
and he didn't
okay.
wanna. Who was it? Ron Haven's
Yeah.
expired.
Mhm. Okay.
So we've lost.
But
It's gonna be
then,
a
but we
turnover.
still, I mean, we still know who is on the board currently and who, and then we'll
Right.
have another one coming on.
Right.
Is that right?
And we can give you the list of all the people.
Yeah, I can email this, that's fine.
So you
I'm
can
just
have it.
still getting used to, you know, the names and all, so just to see who's who.
Sounds good. Any items for the board?
I just made a note earlier to talk, basically what we just talked about is at the summit, I mean, to get a game plan, and even, and my thing is really to focus on the word development and in Tourism Development Authority. The word development is, I mean, it's broad. We don't have to just fund festivals, you know, or we'd be the festival funding authority. You know, we can, I'd like to look at things like the Greenway. How can we use funds there, or like a beautification of Main Street, or I don't know where the limitations are, but talk about it and
Well,
form-
just from my
Mhm.
experience, and it's kind of been thrown, and there's been a lot of changes, but it's to draw tourism.
Right.
And
I think
the
if you
lodging
develop-
within the city limits are the ones that,
That fund is where funds come from.
Right.
And
But if
it's
you
not
have a
like- just
better
like-
core town, if you have better infrastructure, if you have better parks, those people are going to be more willing to come and stay longer. I just think it just works out for the whole.
And
But
that
that's
can
things
al-
we can discuss.
Right, at the
summit.
retreat.
Yeah.
And also, there's an ordinance on what the TDA.
Can and cannot do.
Right.
We could
So maybe we
provide
can
that.
get a copy
Do
of
a
that as
policy and
well.
procedure.
Yeah.
and I
Put
think
the
it's
money
just
together.
Everyone should,
and-
yeah.
And get a copy of the grant request, so everyone has a copy of what's
Mhm.
on there, so that if anyone asks or wants to approach about getting a grant request, you're familiar with it. And I think
Right.
the more familiar we are with our
Right.
own, the better.
Okay, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
And one more thing, Tony has done a really good job with the Smoky Mountain Rumble website. Looked at it today, and it looks a lot better. There's more content on there.
I haven't looked at it today, but
so-
it's good to know.
Yeah. Just wanted to toot his horn a little bit.
Toot toot. Any announcements? Okay, our next meeting is gonna be August 13th, which is the second Monday. It doesn't fall on any holidays or anything. So just make sure everyone-
I'll be here.
Go
The
ahead,
whole
I'm
week.
sorry.
Be here the whole week. Just want to go back to touching something just real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
When Karen was giving her presentation on her rally, she was talking about people being to bring beer into a concert. And I think that could have spurred up some confusion as to what's going on in the holiday with Smoky Mountain Rumble. Maybe while we got Scott here,
Yeah.
any questions about that, why they can and why she can't. Maybe we could get those questions real quick while Scott's going to kind of help educate them what to do.
And I don't think that's what, I mean, I was trying to address that, but wasn't sure how to spit that out. But I guess that's a good way of saying it, is because people probably will be bringing alcohol on property. Is that allowed?
Is that property actually county, is it owned by the county?
It's
No,
private.
It's private.
Private.
So they're bringing their own alcohol onto private property.
Well,
Is that
but
what makes the
theirs-
difference?
But
Right.
this, the property that we have, that's considered private?
Yes.
So they're both.
They're both
on
private.
Mm-hmm.
There's no law that says they can't bring beer, they're allowed to do it. There's no, in North Carolina, there's no ground back permit for beer. You can take beer, basically anywhere you've got permission from beer, as long as you're open.
If they were selling it, then that's different.
That can be-
Right, that's the
Okay.
difference.
Okay.
So I
Well,
don't
I
think
think
it's
it's
kosher.
there because, you know, from my understanding, they couldn't even bring it on, you know, unless we had a permit. But him being the authority,
So technically, someone going to her event could carry it in the city with them, sit down, have a beer, listen to music, walk around as well. It's never
But
perfectly legal, as long as they're allowed.
But she would need to get permission from the property owner, correct?
Yes.
For the alcohol.
For that.
Permitted, right.
Okay.
And has he permitted that yet, or has he been approached?
I talked to Miss Christie about it, and we didn't go any further when I understood that I couldn't do it. So I have talked to her about it, but nothing went any further than that we were not going to have it if we couldn't get a permit or whatever.
So I guess as soon as possible, we need to know if there's.
Well, I need to
permission.
talk to her tomorrow. I'm supposed to meet with her tomorrow, because I've got her check for the, I've been off and on talking to her about various things in.
So basically, on that property, there will be no one camping or staying.
No.
So if we can get that, the insurance policy, and all those items first thing tomorrow, because we'll have to.
I'll call the insurance company and have them back to me. That would be my quickest, trying to tell Scott where to find it.
Any other questions?
It's kind of clear.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Even though I had you as a no name, so I didn't know who was attending, so.
Give me his card.
Danny can always get a hold of me anytime.
Do you have an extra card?
But I'll be
Thank you,
happy
Brian.
to come anytime y'all need me. Scott, yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought your name was Scott.
Yeah,
This is
this is
Brian. I'm like, whew, I'm really
Even more.
confused.
I go by Scott.
Okay. Because I wrote down just Scott, and I'm thinking, Thank you. Any other announcements or items for the floor?
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
And
All in favor?
Vacation
Aye.
after this.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, we're adjourned.
Yes.
So I need, for
And,
Yeah.
because of the vacation after smoking that wrong.
Make it.
people's understanding.
Okay, great. Here.